Well, ladies and gentlemen, the gloves are about to come off here at IEM Sydney. It's the group stage, it's still day one of Swiss, but it is the Australian derby. It's going to be the Chiefs taking on the Renegades, and one might think that there'd be a shred of national pride keeping these two teams on the same side of the fence. You'd be completely wrong. Australian CS, these two teams may as well be across the world from each other in terms of location. There's no love lost between these two whatsoever as well. And the Chiefs, gentlemen, I'm sure they want to prove that you don't need to bugger off to the States to be good at CS. And Renegades aren't looking that hot either after their first match.
You definitely do have to leave Australia to get better at Counter-Strike. That's a fact.
I would agree. I think the Chiefs are coming in, though, pretty...
I think yours a great example for that, Chad.
Yeah. I got so much better when I left. I think just, so people are aware that this is definitely not a domestic matchup, even though both teams are from the same country.
Right, we need to make that clear.
That's not the case at all.
They haven't been in the same scene for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we left the scene, and we took all the talent with us and left a massive void, and now these guys are the best. So it's going to be difficult for them. It's going to be interesting to see what they can bring. I know they obviously look up to the Renegades guys, and they've been playing overseas now for quite a long period of time. So they get to play against their Australian idols, which is also a television show.
Great show.
Yeah.
Really big fan of that
Shannon
one.
Knoll.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Shannon Knoll?
No.
Guy
Really?
Sebastian?
Guy Sebastian?
We're going to have to give you some. We're going to have to give you some.
I prefer
lessons
the show where people are getting rescued from drowning at the beach.
Bondi Rescue.
Yeah, that sounds way
Yeah.
I
more
was
interesting.
almost Henry the other day with that bodyboard.
Yeah.
He was happy as a camper.
Having a rough time, wasn't he?
Or just Jason, but yeah.
The video's going to come in a sec, guys, as well.
Lovely.
We can sort of just talk over the top of that one as it's sort of come through fairly quickly. It was done prior, of course,
Here
chess
we go.
clocks and all that sort of stuff here.
Yeah.
What do you say about it, really, between these two who just don't play each other?
Renegades are going to ban Inferno and probably Overpass.
I feel like we're going to end up on Cash or Train.
Maybe Cobblestone.
All right, how many?
Nope.
Any other maps we haven't covered?
Oh,
We haven't talked about
Cobblestone?
Nuke, boys. You could throw that in there as well.
Nuke could actually happen. I know that Chiefs don't
Renegades
mind
will ban
it.
it.
They destroyed Tainted Minds on it in the qualifier.
Another
I believe.
great quality Aussie org.
Yep. So that is a possibility. There it is. It's gone. Yanko was right. Train. Cool. So Renegades will probably have a massive advantage and be super confident because they play a much broader range of Counter-Strike and they will know how to adapt on the fly a lot more. I just think the only thing that can catch them off guard is if, the Chiefs guys have done their homework or someone has a massive game like Alistair or Tux.
Quickly, very quickly, how much did heading overseas with the Renegades change for you? Was it really night and day when you came back to Australia and played stuff there? Or
Just the level of practice is the main one.
Right.
It's too much to get into. So that's the main point.
I'm happy enough with that one there. I mean, we can pretty much cap things off very quickly, though, as well. Next, they're very quiet so far, Yanko. What are your thoughts on him in the previous game for Renegades?
Yeah, it was pretty underwhelming, but then as a team, they didn't really perform all that well.
Yeah.
The ideas were okay, but the execution wasn't there. They were just getting shut down all across the board. So I would expect him to step up here. He's way better than what we've seen in game number one.
Okay, so I haven't been given the green light to go over to the casters
Oh, we
quite
can
yet. They're
talk
probably
more.
just taking their shoes
Why
off
don't you
or
go
something.
into it, Chad?
Yeah, we can go in, but it will be
I'm kidding.
interesting.
No, but it's the same like that's with anything. You just want to get better practice. It's the same like for our team way before when we were tier 10 and then trying to get to like tier 6, 5. You just get like opportunity to practice against the best, and that's where you slowly just learn the game at that level. You play and then you get crushed, and then if you're smart enough, you realize why you're getting crushed. You're like, oh, the game actually cannot be played in the way we thought it can be played. We have to play at a different style, in a different way, in order to actually compete with these guys. And slowly from map 1 to map 2 to map 3, you learn these things and you try to implement them yourself, and then you see if that's even possible.
Well, I've been told we can start this
Now we're
game
good?
up here. I think the Aussies have
Chad
sorted
had something
themselves
to
out.
say.
Did you have something to say, Chad?
You didn't?
No, I don't think so.
Generally
I
happy
thought you
to
wanted
hear
to
it.
chip in.
He did. He's trimmed his beard. I guess that's something we could talk about if we had time. He's
I
cleaned
did
that up.
shave.
Are you still the Beaver Birchill?
I think so.
All right, well, we're going to have to throw to the casters now on that lovely note. It's going to be the Chiefs taking on the Renegades. Will the residents be able to take on Renegades, obviously leaving home shores to try and find their fortune elsewhere? Or will Chiefs find it here in Sydney? Let's find out. To kick things off, it's going to be Pansy and Moses to take us in.
Do you know what? I love the discussion about Sponge and his facial hair. That's the segue I wanted, Mitch. I like the way you hyped it up at the end.
The Beaver's got a nice beard, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's what we're about here. But yeah, Chiefs up against Renegades. It's a bit of a matchup that actually isn't as localized as the storyline likes to kind of tell. Now, Renegades, of course, departed Australia. They went on to arguably greener pastures, going out to North America, upping the practice field and putting themselves in a better position to succeed. Chiefs kind of took their spot over in I guess Australia being the team who's made it this far, they've got a couple of well-known names that I'm sure that people will notice or know of if you've kept up to date with the Australian scene to any degree. They are the next in line. But they have been practicing only within this sort of region. It makes it tougher to find yourself in a grander scope.
I think the most international competition and experience they may have had is I think this team went to the Mountain Dew League finals last time around, where I think one of the bigger opponents they played against was the old Echo Fox lineup, like Sean and Freakazoid and them, and Shazam.
Did they tell Sean about drop bears then, or?
Yeah. Apparently they didn't inform him about the drop bear problem Australia has. But no, I mean that is the thing. This really isn't a regional matchup. What we say usually that's one thing that can always throw kind of the results or what you expect up in the air. It's not the case here. I mean, even just looking down this roster of Renegades, you can see that. I mean, these are all guys that had enough talent and shown enough to get brought out of this region, to get brought into the bigger level. Ustilo, Azza, JKS, these guys have all been picked up over a long period of time for Renegades to kind of compete in the North American scene. And obviously they have Casada as a coach. They've got a lot of experience behind them, and I think that's the big defining factor in this matchup.
But if you wanted to prove a point, you'd be in the right place to do it if you're Chiefs, right? You're playing
this
against
is obviously
the team
a
that
grudge
everyone
match.
knows. And it may not be a grudge match for Renegades. They may not particularly care. Or maybe they do. That's I'm making assumptions on their behalf. But you could imagine for Chiefs, you'd want to prove that, all right, we can at least compete with these guys who departed the region, who went on to further things. We've still been growing out here as well. We can still at least give you a good challenge. And they've got to know how Renegades play to a degree. But then again, how much does anyone know about Renegades right now? They still have those kind of two new additions that have kind of
Nifty.
changed things up here. It's hard to read them anymore.
I mean, I think the big grudge that we're going to find between these two teams is there has been like kind of this growing sentiment in the Australian scene, just from keeping my eye on it very superficially, is there is kind of this, okay, like this team, these guys were like the team in Australia. They departed, they got their salaries, they went overseas, they got their chance that no other Australian team has had, and they haven't done anything with it yet. They haven't accomplished anything. So I know there's some kind of like very quiet camp in Australia that's saying, let's give another team a chance. Let's get another team out there into the international field, see what they can do, because Renegades isn't capitalizing on the opportunity. And I think that's going to be at the heart of this kind of matchup between them and Chiefs. But still, I mean, you're going to give overwhelming odds, overwhelming favorites over to the Renegade side.
Yeah, it's Renegades' game to lose at this point. Favor sits in their hands. History sits in their hands. Everything, they basically got it all on their favor. So Chiefs are the underdog here, but, we've seen stranger things happen. It is still a best of one. If you're Renegades, you probably don't know Chiefs all that well anymore. This is a very different team than probably that they used to play, and the same can be said for vice versa. It's not the same as it used to be. So two very different teams in two very different positions, but obviously representing still that same flag, even though there are a couple of different people from different regions in Renegades these days.
Yeah, I mean that's the big thing is with Nexa coming in. I mean, had a little bit of a rough first game. You can't really blame him against FaZe. I think that's probably the biggest LAN match he's ever played in. Now this is where you kind of want to say, all right, this is a little bit of easier competition. You want to at least start to see glimpses of why he's brought in, of why he's considered, one of the next big up and coming stars that we have, and kind of the potential that he has. We want to see that come out of him here against Chiefs. So hopefully, I mean, that's the big thing, though, is with how kind of new these players are. Obviously, this is a map train that's usually not worked into map pools that early on. It's not like one of the first maps you tackle as a squad. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of a freewheeling style of Renegades, which is really going to allow players like Azza and JKS, who we know have crazy talent, but we don't see it very frequently. This is where maybe they're going to have a chance to do a little bit more individual playmaking ability.
They should be able to unleash. Let's be honest. This should be their playground to really show what they can do. Now, at the moment, we do only have 4 players in from Renegades. I think one of the PCs just had to be restarted or rejoin the server. So they're back in already, so don't worry too much about it. It shouldn't be too long. We are just waiting for the game to start up. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm really curious to see how this one pans out, because if there's any pressure as well, just amongst the team, you'd hope that Nexa doesn't feel it as well. There shouldn't be a game he feels the pressure under from that whole oh, it's the old Australian team. He should just be wanting to perform well. So I want to see him have a good game.
I mean, we know from our time here that the Australians are just generally a laid back people, and I think Azza and JKS are pretty typical of that as well. I haven't really got a chance to interact with you still much, but even talking to those guys, it's very calm, very laid back, very wearing the thong sandals.
There's always that second I have to realize what you mean when people say thong.
Yeah.
There's just still that second. And I just look at Chad in a certain way when he's saying about the thong he's wearing. Thongs. Plural.
Likes his black thongs.
He doesn't. All right. We are into this anyway. Finally, we are live. It will be Chiefs on the CT side, Renegades on the T side. And Nifty is the man to set the play in motion. 1 smoke, 2 flashes, and the rest all on armor. Tux on the other side. Just that touch of utility and a kit.
This is pretty standard. 2 players clearing out box halls for the Renegade side of things. You just get that map presence, have some kind of a noise cue, sound cue. If anyone from Chiefs is playing close up, which they're not, you know there's some bodies there. You have to be very wary. Maybe call some rotations back. But Chiefs sticking very solid with 4 players outside 1. Yeah, they're watching everywhere.
I'm wondering how much homework they've been able to do here as well, Chiefs.
Probably a very decent amount, I would imagine, to be honest with you.
Especially into this matchup, it seems like they should understand the map pool pretty well. So, again, it's all up in the air. It's all yet to be seen. But it seems like they do have a decent idea where they want to be at the moment. Still not cheated anyone over, even after those early shots being put out by Asa. So maybe this is something they've kind of theory crafted that, okay, maybe they like to do this on their pistol. We'll see. This could be very different from what it turns out to be, even if they do have that correct read.
You imagine Nifty Smoke, he's still above ladder. You imagine that's going to be over towards where Alistair's playing towards Ivy. Maybe isolate him, get him blocked off, and there it is. It's going to plume right at the back of that train. He's going to be the only one here, but oh my god, he capitalizes. One very quick headshot, but sticks around for the fight, and he does fall. Malta's the next one up, close range. Good trading here, but Chiefs are being forced back all across the map.
But time, and that's the bomb. The old bomb train now gone down, 14 seconds left. This is a problem, and now Nex is surrounded. He was one of the only players to break through and get a kill here alongside JKS, but Chiefs are still taking the fight, but they're just keeping him pinned in, and there's the shutdown. Chiefs pick up the first and get maybe a couple of those nerves worked out, start feeling the game, and that's so imperative for this team.
Yeah, that first push round is always a little bit nerve-wracking. And I mean, a little bit curious from Renegades. I mean, that smoke, yes, it isolates Alistair over there. They at least trade him off, which is nice. It's a stunning shot. But it blocks them off from meeting up with their teammates. I mean, their teammates are on the other side of the smoke, so if they try and go towards the bomb train, they're jumping through smoke, and who knows what's on the other side of that. So no real opportunity for the 2 different prongs of that attack for Renegades to meet up and kind of be effective and take over that bomb site.
Yeah, a strange theory piece. I'm not sure what the end goal there was, but it clearly wasn't what happened. Now, we've got the full UMP buy, decent utility to supplement it as well. I'm not completely opposed to it as well. Looking over at Renegade side, we've got the buy up coming in, no surprises either. So Nifty kind of opting out of armor just on that P250, maybe looking towards an AWP later on if he can get it into his hands.
Yes, he is the opera for this team.
So that would make sense. And Peck's going to go for the counter flash. That's kind of interesting. Actually, great timing on it too. That might actually hinder a little bit of their hit here and buy him time to put down the molly, and it has. Double molly goes in. This is burning them alive. And I want to make a shrimp on the Barbie joke, but I'm just not going to do it. Nexa and Ustilo, the last 2 standing up against 4. Now, the bomb's yet to be planted as well, and it might not be able to cross at this point. Nexa's been spotted. Nade goes down. Inz is going to be spotting this one out. Tux facing it down as well, and those chances for those bomb plants are just dissipating. There it is. The molly comes through to close it. A little costly at the end for Chiefs, but job done.
Yeah, definitely. Preventing that plan is big, but losing 3 is a little bit of a hindrance. Either way, I mean, nice timing on the Molotovs. You thought the flashbang was going to hinder him a little bit on the execute. It's the 2 Molotovs that fall on that bottom ramp, and the bomb really had no chance. Just had to get out of the flames and makes the wrong turn. Falls on the sidewalk. So now it's going to be a little bit easier for Chiefs. I mean, they've got 4 SMGs still. Bonus money coming in. The MP9's out on Tux and Pex. Playing still far back at this outer bomb site. Just now as Malta comes in, do they push up?
Pex, they're just holding that corner. Going to fall back off this. Doesn't get overrun just yet. Now, there are pretty much only Glocks up, 1 P250 on Justillo, but that's it. So you should be looking at minimal casualties here from the Chiefs side. Shouldn't lose out on too much unless they make mistakes, pretty much. It's the only way to look at it. And Tuck's going to head up on the ladder, shows a little bit of leg there, but nothing to be achieved for Renegades from this one now. Maybe giving away a little bit of the game, but again, the bomb yet to fully commit anywhere. Still just playing from those brown holes, and a plant would be brilliant, but looks pretty unlikely right now as Tux is walking further.
Yeah, I mean, Chiefs is now going to start getting a bit aggressive with these SMGs, knowing how much of an advantage they have without armor on the Renegade side of things. They're going to be peeking for information, trying to take fights, trying to get the bonus money, and this is really limiting where Renegades, how much space they have to kind of get into the site. And there's a nice spray down from Tux. The pistol's out. Nex is going to challenge him. Tux is not falling away, and it's going to be Pex with the final kill. 3-0, a quick 3-0 for Chiefs. Not taking a whole lot of damage in that next round. We've got 2 M4s already. They'll upgrade a couple more, but the AKs are going to come out for Renegades.
Yeah, Renegades are on a relatively decent buy. They'll be fine. Nifty, I don't think he is going to be able to get the AWP, but he's not. Does he have enough armor? Yeah, he does. So no utility, but he does at least have the AWP with a touch of armor. So he's got some sustainability here. He's not completely glass canning in this. And actually, Alistair as well going to be up on the AWP. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, 3-man push though, up lower ramp. They want to get into the action. They're going to get that first kill and not going to fall away immediately after that. Azur finds the The trade kill, Malta falls, so they equalize things, which is a very fortunate fight. It seemed like the player leading it made the call to fall back, but Malta doesn't give it in time. A little bit unfortunate, because that would have been a great advantage to bring forward.
That would have been so good, but I actually like how passively they've fallen back as well. Now Chiefs are not allowing that refrag to come in at all, unless they fully commit for it, so let's look over to the T side. What are they up to now? Those kind of early plans might have been a little bit hampered there. They're maybe just not able to get into it now, but maybe going to have to regain control. They haven't had anyone down by Ivy yet, so they have to be cautious still. No one's actually pushed it from Chiefs, but in the back of your mind, you're wondering how much information's now filtering through towards Chiefs.
I mean, that's a really cool call in the 4th round, though, from Chiefs. I mean, really, really setting the tone. I mean, that's kind of the statement, right? We're not going to be afraid of you guys. We're going to push. We're going to do the creative plays. So Renegades on their back foot and just slowly playing this one. 45 seconds left on the clock. Nexa just now kind of prodding out of ladder room, seeing what he can find. A little bit of noise is made. Still only one player. That's Inns towards the inner bomb site. And Pex is going to rotate back just now to help him out. This is a good call as well. It looks like this is where Renegades are going to fall to.
Time is really running low as well for Renegades. I'm not sure if I like them running it this low. It's pretty dangerous right now. The mollies are still into play, so that's going to hinder them again. Smoke goes in.
Yeah, this is really rough on time.
Yeah, you got 15 seconds. Now Pex is actually in a really... What? Where are they going?
They're going outside.
And look at Tux's spot here. This is so good. Let's see if he waits for more than one player, if he just takes the shot. He's going to take the shot on the first and does trade out 1-for-1. He could have maybe waited longer, but look at the time he's bought now, down to 4 seconds. They can't plant anymore, I'm pretty sure. No time left here. My word, Renegades just running out of options. And Alistair, please stay alive here. There we go. Stays into hand. And they do keep it up on Nifty and Azure as well, but the pause comes out, and I'm wondering if that's going to be from Renegades in a tactical one, because...
I would imagine that's from Kassan, just saying, guys like, what are you can't be doing that. Like, that call needs to come out quicker. If that's the play you want to make, that needs to be happening much, much sooner. But you can't let the clock be running out in the 4th round of this match. I mean, that's a huge boost for Chiefs as well.
Yeah, I've got to say that I'm loving the way the Chiefs don't seem to be afraid of who they're playing. You highlighted earlier that kind of 3-man play up towards the brown halls and stuff like that. Just to have the guts on them to do it is good. You're not afraid of who you're playing against or the name of it. You just treat them like another team. And it looks like Assad is giving them a right.
We have to remember as well. I mean, this is a brand new in-game leader, right? This is Nexa, and he's also, I think he's what, like 18 or 19.
He's a young guy.
He's very young.
Yeah.
Very young, very inexperienced. So as an in-game leader who's got to make that decision at that moment at his first big LAN, there's going to be those learning curves. So obviously, I mean, very, very wise to take the call early on in this half before too many of those mistakes come out.
Yeah, absolutely. You might as well try and do what you can to kind of allow him room to actually improve throughout this and give him the opportunities. And Kassad knows that. He's it seems like a very well-rounded sort of coaching figure. Seems to have a very nice approach to it. But still, they need to get these rounds on the board eventually. Now, we do see that Azure and Nifty are the only ones to be able to retain those... What is going on, Malta? What is the game plan? Talk me through it. Because Nifty has just been fed a perfect opportunity now. So, got to be careful. Don't want to get overzealous. Don't get overexcited by this.
Yeah, it's a bit late in the round to be making that kind of a play. Either way, 5-on-4 now for Renegades. You could still say, I mean, there's a decent advantage in the round for Chiefs due to the 3 Tech 9s.
And look at Alice's positioning as well. He's been able to get great deals of information again, pushing up by those brown halls with the AWP. He's kind of done it on his own, so he's going to get all that information and allow free play to come out from Tux, Pex, and In. So these guys can now focus on what's probably going to come their way, but there's still that player advantage, which means it's actually pretty hard to handle no matter what goes on. Smoke goes in, going to isolate down Tux. He now can't help unless he walks through this. Molly to the other side now as well. You've got to be worried if you're Pex, just thinking, all right, are these guys pushed up? Yeah, what's going on? They know that it's still going to be Tech 9s and something a little bit shoddy, but there is still that rifle on Azure as well, but traded out eventually. Pex is there. Great play from Tux around the back, but it's Nifty to deny it before it starts to go too far. But we are into this 2v2, and Pex takes a little bit of damage from that Molly.
Yeah, forced into the flames, 2-on-2 situation. Plenty of time, 35 seconds left on the clock. Nifty's got to cover his teammate. He's trying to plant the bombs. JKS the back of the train. Alistair with the AWP trying to find some angle at the long range, but not being too aggressive with it. It's Nifty who's overly exposed, and he's going to get himself in a better spot.
Going to readjust now. Alistair trying to support his way through. Down by Ivy. JKS and Nifty heading the way out of this, and Pex is going to play back through this. They do have decent utility on Alistair as well, so don't think the threat's over just yet. Both of kits, it's certainly not over. There goes the smoke, and it's a full defuse. Alistair, they're just going to hold this down now. JKS, he doesn't even get the shot through. What is going on? And he dies as well. They both die. That is unbelievable. What just happened?
That's such bad post-plant positioning. Like almost forgetting how deeply they planted the bomb behind the train, but they had to plant there for it to be safe. They both went into positions where they just can't stop that play. mental mistakes coming out for Renegades at the moment. That's going to be heartbreaking. Down 0-5. That felt like a round that they had even in a 2-on-2 at a plant like that, where they had plenty of time to get any position they wanted. They picked the wrong ones.
Yeah, that was severely poorly picked, and that comes down to individuals too. That's not just an in-game leader telling you where to play. That's just down to the two players going, all right, this is where I'm set up. Now, finally we see a bit of a trade back into the first frag going over towards Chiefs. But Malta now knows where they're coming from, but takes a dry fight, and he's not going to win that one out. Now, Alice is in a bit of a predicament. Players right, players left, and he's just going to try and run away. Oh, bomb train seems ideal, but peeks back into it. Taking these fights has not worked out this time for Chiefs, unless Pex can do something incredible. They are relatively low. Nifty and Nexa not looking so good, and where's that bomb?
Yeah, they've dropped it. Another mistake out of the Renegades. This is frustration coming in. And this is very, very painful. I mean, they cannot drop this round now. Now, because this bomb has gone so far away, this is giving Pex plenty of time to move up, and I don't think Nexa above is going to be able to, or excuse me, Nifty above is going to spot this. This might be Pex turning it into a one-on-one, and it is. And now he's gotten himself in a situation where Nifty has to be the one to chase him down.
He seems aware it's a possibility. He completely evaded being able to be seen from this angle, so I'm wondering if he heard the ladder or steps or something. He's not 100% sure. But now down to 40 seconds, it's a 1v1. Nifty did have 34 HP originally, so again, he's not in perfect condition either. Not sure where Pex went to. Bomb faked out. Up onto the bomb we go.
This is
brave
risky.
as hell. Oh my god. Around the world Pex goes, but he needs to come back in on this one eventually. He can clear out everything he needs to, bearing in mind he's going to spot the Pex. Just point out the player on the bomb train, maybe called out to him, maybe a little bit jittery, but he's going to have to take the fight. Nifty is right there on the verge of this. And Pex, what? He still lands the shot? Please be careful of that Molly Pex, but my god, he does get the job done in the end, but that was a very unique round, let's put it.
Was that a 1-on-3? I think it was.
Yeah,
At one point, Pex finds all three of them. I mean, another massive mistake. The bomb dropped halfway across the map. Renegades, they have the bomb site. They're in perfect position, and they have to chase it down. Plenty of time for Pex to make a play after that. 6-0 Chiefs, the underdogs. We mentioned, obviously, this is a grudge match with two Australian teams, and even Nifty here seems like he had plenty of opportunity to win that fight. Misses just a couple bullets.
I guess that's the difference between win and loss, a couple of bullets.
And that round looked so good for Renegades. It seemed like that was like their stress relief round, right? Where they just went fast-paced. They just trusted themselves in trading kills and in getting the entries, and they did.
Oh, an insult to injury. Inns pushes up, gets a frag, backs away completely scot-free. No one able to trade off it. Okay, at least Renegades do take back the map control. That's something. They don't have to keep worrying about that, but it's such a small piece of silver lining at this point.
Yeah, this is a really bad start to this half for Renegades. Now they're getting picked off by Alistair, and this could just snowball out of control. They've got to be very, very careful. They have no map control as well. This is when you're feeling as Renegades, when you have these three players, or two players over towards box holes, where you're just like, we can't fall back. There's nowhere for us to go back to. We have to hit this B bomb site, and you just feel like you know it's going to be stacked. He's still doing what he can to force rotations to keep them from cheating too many players towards the inner bomb site, but this is a desperate situation.
And with 5 alive, Chiefs don't particularly need to pull anyone anywhere. They can still depend on the two players who are sat over by B right about now, and maybe they can eventually pull over Tux to play from connector, but at the moment they're not feeling particularly pressured. This might encourage maybe one player to start heading through, as we do start to see the utility being put to play, but that lower ramp approach has been denied. Molly goes in, but maybe not communicated to Inns as he wasn't completely aware, but still finds JKS. What is going on? How is this happening? How is he still alive? How did no one trade him out on that or find him? He was still alive on 10 HP. This is a bit of a disaster for Renegades.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. This is a very, very bad game plan, or maybe not game plan. I mean, they seem to have everything. They've had rounds where it's looked good. They just.
I wish you could see Chad. Right
yeah,
now.
He's in a certain state at the
I almost
moment.
want to pull him in here for a mid-game interview. You
Yeah,
know what
why
I mean?
not?
Just like, please talk us through what's happening, Chad, because
This is actually breathtaking. I mean, even the rounds they've had success in, there's always just one critical flaw, right? The time running out in the fourth round. That's huge. Like, even coming into a game, you should have a pretty good idea of what you're going to be doing in the fourth round of all rounds.
Yep.
The bomb being left, losing a 1-on-3. I mean, this is now nightmare scenario.
Because you kind of forgive one of those mistakes, don't you? You sit there and you go, oh, maybe that one player had that big moment, right? Maybe that one guy kind of had that round where you pull off the 1v3. Oh, we kind of forgot that bomb. You know, a bit of a mistake, but this is happening consistently.
It seems like now it's gotten to the point as well that the scary part, I mean, this pause hopefully helps out, is that individually the players have gotten frustrated to where communication's not coming in. Players are shutting down. I mean, you could see just that last round, players surviving on that top train forever. Like, not even falling in the end. And the tough part as well is because all 5 players of Chiefs survived, Renegades had them in a situation where they could have broken the economy in that previous round, but now that opportunity is no longer there. They've built up plenty of money with 5 people alive.
All right, Renegades, you've got to find a road to recovery here, and maybe that's not the great start for you. Stillo walking into the Molotov, just the double molly works out well for them. And Chiefs are still so close on this side. They're not really giving up much. They could maybe get a bomb plant here, but Chiefs, you know, they're still in such a good position. Bomb goes in, bomb's planted. Nexa just going to take the fight, wins it, but instantly trades out, just barrels in, and this is an impossible round to hold unless Azza does something. It's just a miracle sort of level you're looking for here. Chiefs lock it down. A bomb plant, I guess, is a benefit here for Renegades. But at this point, you're looking at 8-0. You're not looking for, you know, benefits. You're looking for a round on the board.
You have plant. You have full losing bonus. Everyone's got over $6,000. Everyone can get anything they want. This is where you called, you know, whatever tactic you rely on to be kind of your bread and butter on a map. This is where this is your best strat that you can pull out at the moment to get back into this.
You've got to feel individuals like Azza, JKS, Ustillo you're not feeling good about this. And it'd be impressive if they can untilt. Now, whether or not they actually, you know, tilt in game or show any sort of, you know, negative side of things, but you're not feeling great about this one at this point. So this is the moment they've got to change it around. And Alistair, oof, that was close. And I think he actually tagged JKS too. He's down to 40 HP, but JKS is just playing out on his own here. He's way ahead of the others at the moment, just playing right down the middle of the trains. And well, Inns is going to find that quite comfortably. Malta having a little bit of a quieter game, but he's played in really nicely down out. Ivy right now, if he wants to swing out, and he can, but it's Tux who's doing the work. And now Ustillo left very much alone, tries to get the bomb back into hand. But they're down to 2.
That was actually pretty clever by JKS. He was on the side of that train, the little siding, trying to jump over the smoke to spot someone. It seemed like he was almost going to have it, but it was seen by Chiefs rotating over. And I mean, just look at the confidence in a player like Tux, just peeking down Ivy in a round like this, where he knows they're going to have everything they could possibly want, and he's just taking those long-range duels. But still, Renegades has just been mopped up again. It's about to be 9-0.
Don't go to NA. Just
They've brought it back with them. This is what happens. Not even once.
never go full NA.
Whichever meme you'd want
yeah,
to put out
you
here.
can find any. But 9-0. This is getting, you know, scary territory. Renegades, they like to give out the 16 zeros, and maybe they like to start receiving them as well.
I mean, he's just peeking into an Alper. I mean, that's not even. I mean, the funny part about that is it's not even a good decision to make that kind of a peek. There's no nades, no flashbang for that, and he's just winning the duel outright. Maybe Nifty is just saying why is he doing that? Not expecting it whatsoever, but regardless, everything going in the way of Chiefs at the moment.
It's not stupid if it works. That's and that's the problem, because even though you're sat there as a player going, I hate them because they did something so dumb, but still, look at this again. The early aggression setting up that play from Alistair.
Yeah.
Now again, he's over by B, completely dominates that. 4 players fall back towards A, and yeah, this is a set hit coming from Renegades, but they better depend on hitting these shots because they're coming up against the Chiefs who are in full force here, unless they have a backup plan.
It's a fake, and it's actually working. Yeah, they're going to go towards the end.
No.
They need to keep running here. I'm not sure why they're slowing down. They're making no presence outside. There's no one actually committed to this. They're behind the smoke. And everyone's turning around now. They've taken way too long.
Now, okay, this could continue to sell it a little bit, but Alistair's still over by B, and you actually have the full play coming over from Peck, so now he's seen it all. 3 players come out, spotted the bomb. They actually don't find the kill they wanted, but Alistair is still there, and it's just down to Nifty trying to get that bomb down. Molly comes in, but a little bit flawed approach from the Renegades as Nifty tries to put up a fight, but he can't do it.
Yeah, this is just Renegades playing scared. I'm not sure why they throw that fake and then just try and walk the entirety of White Halls.
Because it worked.
And then, I mean, the players coming out, walking behind smokes, they're not even trying to, like, win fights. They're trying to find some kind of cheeky advantage through a fading smoke. This is not how Renegades is supposed to be playing at the moment, and Chiefs is just eating it alive. I mean, they sold the fake perfectly. Everyone pulled out. Even Alistair, we had his perch at the upper ramp, all the way pushed up towards box house. He falls all the way back, but they stop because there's no presence outside. Renegades not doing anything right at the moment.
No, it does feel a little bit like one of those games where nothing's going right, but this isn't just bad luck of the draw. This is occasional player error too, which you just don't expect from Renegades. That's why it's surprising. But Chiefs are certainly doing their work in this one. They are proving a bit of a point, it feels, but let's see if they can keep control of this. 10-0 so far. If Renegades pull up the last 5, you might see a bit of a turnaround, but they need to start it now. There's no two ways about it, and their money is so fragile, but holding on to that loss bonus like a lifeline here. Tux going walkabout. Got to be careful. There's 2 players waiting on this too. Nifty's going to walk into it. I think Tux might have heard that, but it's Inns finding Nexa already. So the aggression throughout the map actually working out, even though it seems that Renegades were poised for that.
Yeah, I mean, they just set up in a spread out default with you're supposed to be able to punish that, but the one benefit is, I mean, one person gets aggressive Inns towards Ivy, and he finds a one-on-one, and I mean, obviously no battles being won from Renegades. That's huge. And now with Nexa falling towards Ivy, only thing left once again is to go towards the inner bomb site. There's 2 players here. There's Tux right under ladder. He can have a fast flank, or if they want to switch things up, he's in perfect position to shut it down.
I don't know what to say anymore. They do have the flashes just about to come in. The mollies are there, but look at this. It's a complete and utter breakdown from Renegades. Finally, Nifty bites back. That feels like a long time in the making, but Inz is already there. Player on the upper catwalk there is JKS. But he's got no play to be had, and this is a absolute thrashing so far.
Yeah, maybe there is something to dunk at NA, because I mean, JKS, Aza, these seem like completely different players than they were when they first came over. And I don't know if this is a situation where we don't know what to expect from these guys. We don't feel comfortable playing against them. Maybe the pressure of the Aussie rivalry, the matchup. But
there's a lot of factors, but you should be able to push through more than this.
Yes.
I don't know. It seems like one of those games. Renegades, and the problem is that they were playing pretty well online for quite some time, actually, in the NA Pro League. They were picking up some decent results. They kind of surprised a lot of people, but a quick into the pace seems to have not worked so well. The utility still in play coming out from the Chiefs is decent, but finally a couple of strong together kills that maybe allow them towards the side, but no. It runs out, it feels. Ustilo is still alive with a rifle. That could finally change things around, but they're just stuck out in the open by the electric box, taking fights and actually winning them this time.
It just seemed, yeah, I mean, this 2-on-2, this could be... The Renegades has to pick this up. They need to get these last 4 rounds, and Inz is making a perfect read. They've even got an op at long range. No one from Renegades is prepared for this whatsoever, and he's patient. He waits. He's seen the second one as well. JKS, though. Oh, the timing on it. He turns around, and there's Inz. Beautiful, beautiful job. Double kill to end it. He's got 3 total. 12-0 now from Renegades, and it just feels like those mistakes, those flaws at the beginning of this half have just snowballed this into a nightmare for Renegades.
And can we just hit the scoreboard if the observers can see us? I'm kind of curious here because Inz is having a game. Let's be that's 20 kills. And 3. And they're impactful kills, they're smart kills. This guy's playing a very, very big game. So credit to him for actually really stepping up even into the pressure game. So eyes towards him towards the next couple of games if they make it through this one, and 12-0, it's looking kind of likely. Anyway, into the round we go. 3 players down Ivy again, it seems, for Renegades. No one there this time just to peek into it. Tux, maybe taking a little bit more laid back this time.
Oh, well, he peeks that time. It's worked from a couple, but that's why we mentioned it's not a great idea. But there's Alza coming down the ladder. Malta's there perfectly. Ends him quickly. Now, Renegades have control of Ivy. They haven't had a whole lot of map control they could write home about, and it's not lasting much longer. Alistair takes off the head of Ustilo jumping up. And there's just nothing left. It's Nifty alone against 4, and he's shut down. This is looking like it's looking like it's going to be a perfect CT half. I'm trying to help him out with a caster jinx, trying to give him anything we can. Yeah.
It's like I'm already envisioning, that 16-0 that gets plastered over on HLTV.
And Chad's not even part of it. What is that?
See, that's the thing. If Chad was there, it makes sense, right? He
Yeah.
kind of brings it, but
Right.
maybe it's why? Oh, Chad's back again. He's back. He feels good about it. He's very proud. I'm kidding, but look at Cassette. Look how animated this guy is. This is obviously a tactical timeout for Renegades, and this is you're clutching at straws here. It's beyond that point where you're looking for, I don't know, options. You're at 13-0. This has become so much more than how much can we change, how much can we do. It becomes a bit of a mental game here as well for these players.
Well, and also I think Kassad more than anyone is going to understand too that he has got a bigger goal in mind than this event necessarily.
Absolutely.
It's also building up Nexa to be some kind of in-game leader of the future, and obviously you never want to go into a tournament as a brand new in-game leader and have this be a result, but still,
it can happen.
You have to learn from it.
Yeah, and this is something that I guess Chad was discussing, and the guys on the desk were discussing. You go to North America, you get completely beat down, you learn from your mistakes, and you come back stronger. I think it was Janko discussing this, just how you improve as a team, and it feels that maybe Renegades do have to go through this right now with their new players, with the new in-game leader, with all this stuff. It does take a couple of beatdowns before you can kind of really build back into it, but you didn't want it against Chiefs if you're them. If you wanted it on paper, this is not the game you go, I really hope we learn our lesson from this. But anyway...
There are no silver linings in it.
No, there really isn't.
In this kind of a grudge match, are there?
This is the good old bite the pillow, Jason. And their jaws are feeling a little sore at this point. And Pex is going to find 2, as they do finally maybe get a bomb plant here. They can actually play back into this nice positioning as well from Ustilo, but Az is just burnt alive. Completely and utterly just roasted out of this one. Ustilo, though, up close and personal, could be able to do some work. Here he's right, but beside 3 of them.
Oh, God bless.
Oh, Ustilo, no! No! This is not how it happens. You know what?
There are some matches where just nothing goes right for you, Lauren.
That
this is clearly one of them.
Oh, this is one of those that it hurts to watch, but you can't, it's like a car crash. You can't look away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You hear the screech of the tires?
Yeah, and your eyes are locked, and it feels pretty bad. 14-0 though, and this is it was
the
completely
flashbang.
flashed.
The timing of that flashbang.
Nothing is working.
Yeah,
for
no,
them.
exactly.
This is it. I think it's one of those you just write off, just like Jesus
No,
Christ,
but
guys.
even at this point, yes, we say that. But even at the beginning of this game, it just did look like it came into it. And Renegades was just flat. Like they didn't really want to take any fights.
Yeah. Now there's a lot to be said about this game, but at the end of it, I think it's kind of spiraled into one of those where you just feel you're not winning anything, so you play almost to that, and it just kind of spirals out of control. But it's 14-0. Even if they get one round, at least it won't be a 16-0. Please, please, get it going. I just.
Pansy begs of you.
I need this right now. Pex, is he going to pad the stats again right now? They are actually on a bye, though, so hopefully.
And there's a chance here.
works.
Pex is the only one in here. This is one of the few rounds there hasn't been some kind of aggression somewhere on the map, so there's no intel for the Chiefs side of things. Pex has got to be huge, and he is. He dinks JKS, forcing him back. They're fighting in the Molotov. 2 quick kills for Chiefs. Big advantage now. Inns does fall, but everyone's on the rotate. 3-on-3 scenario.
Yeah, this is getting important now. The last the only 2 players coming around who aren't on the site are pretty far away, which is Malta and Tux. So they're actually on a bit of a longer play around the back. So Alistair still needs to show presence here. Otherwise, Renegades will work out exactly where they are. But there's only 2 players for Renegades. Nexus still doing damage, though. Malta goes down. Now it's Tux and Alistair playing back into this. And would they expect Tux to be here? Here we go. It's the last round of the first half. Will Renegades finally get one on the board? Nexus needs this. But Tux into the 1v1. Nexus needs the ace right now.
Tapping the bomb, utilities out. Nexus is going to push through the smoke any second, and there it is from Tux. The goose egg is out still after the entire first half. 15-0. All the clutches, and Nexus had 4 kills in that round.
I don't know what to say here, Jason. It's one thing to lose to the Chiefs, but it's one thing to be sat at 15-0 on the half. This could be a heartbreaking moment for Renegades. Yeah, sure, it's not the local matchup, but this is a very bitter taste for the Renegades right now. Boys, we'll be back after a very short break to see if this game will go any further, or if it will be that infamous 16-0. What do you say about this one, Jason?
I don't know. That wasn't long enough for me to think of something.
No, there's
This
no
is-
witty banter here.
This is brutal.
Yeah.
You really do hate to see it.
I don't know. It's genuinely one of those that is just a little bit mind-blowing. The next big question, though, is it going to be a 16-0?
Oh God.
We're going to find out any second
It
now,
seems
guys.
like it, though, doesn't it?
It does.
It just feels like it.
It feels like it's on course, but we are not, fortune tellers. We don't know if it's going to happen, but let's see what the Chiefs have in store. They are now up on the T side. CT side is the Renegades, who've had their backs broken, snapped into. Nifty dinged down, but still fighting the good fight for the Renegades, and they've got to come out swinging here if they want a chance to not get 16-0'd, and they're doing it right now. And there we go. It's fine. It's recovered. No 16-0.
We're back.
We're back in the game. It's comeback time. Don't call it a comeback, Jason. They've been here for years.
The question becomes, what does Chiefs want to do in this round? They have such a big lead. I mean, you almost don't need to necessarily buy into this round, but I think just the economic situation with SMGs kind of requires you to do it. So yeah, 4 Deagles on the board, 1 Tech 9 on Malta. 15-1. That's the top tier. That's all I got.
That's it. That's all you got, right? Honestly, if you could find top-level analysis to this, I'd be so impressed with you. But for now, I'll leave you just to really mull it over, come up with a game plan, really think it through. But what we can say is UMPs galore. 4 of them sitting with the Renegades 1, M4, and JKS. And for the Chiefs, they don't need to really rush things here. They've got a lot of rounds to play with. So, again, they can just take their time. There's no need to make silly mistakes or go on kind of crazy buys at this point. They're fine.
That's the tough part. I mean, yeah, the platitude is right. It's always like 1 round at a time. But I mean, the reality of the situation is no matter how many rounds you get in a row, all it takes is one mistake from one player. So, and that can just change the round. So, I mean, this is a long time that Renegades have to play at a level that we didn't see them get even close to in the first half.
Yeah, and even mentally, how many of them checked out? I know as a competitive player, you should never, quote-unquote, but, we're all human. You sit there, you're like, all right, we're 15-1 right now. This is tough. Ins, that is ambitious, and I like it. Not sure if it's going to work right now. They're looking for anything at this point. And look at where we do have a certain player working towards. This mini-map is an interesting color. Can we appreciate
Yeah, the colors
that?
have all changed.
Why is there a purple player? Hello? I'm really confused, but you know what? Why not? I'm just not going to look at the minimap. I'm only going to look at what is on our screens. Alistair is left in on 1v5. So, to be fair for Renegades, clean rounds are good. It means they get on the good buys. Even though they have to buy fully every single round, it means they at least get everything they need going through this.
5 kills on UMPs as well, so build up some of that money bonus. Get a little bit of a cushion if you do kind of get knocked down into a one-on-one at some point. But long way to go. This should be an easy one. 5 players on the Chiefs side are going to keep the Glocks, no armor, sitting at about 1900 right now. The bomb plan even is seeming like a dream.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do anything. And I like them just chilling out on the Glocks. No upgrades, no nothing. They have no money for it, bearing in mind.
I mean, they're just saying rush B. Let's just get this over with. Let's get into the gun rounds. We're going to run through the fire as well. At least Tux is. There goes Ins. Next is going to find him. Should be a pretty easy mop-up. It pretty much is going to be.
Absolutely. One out of the way here. Any kills are, benefits, but it's fine. Only 1 kill coming through. Renegades hold on for 3. Easy to count how many rounds they've had in this half, at least.
I'm interested to see what the game plan is going to be for the Chiefs side of things. And actually, this is very curious to start with. They're going to go for Deagles on the 4th round of this half.
Well, I guess you can get that perfect buy that they maybe not wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yes.
Considering they have no rush. They literally have no rush. There's very few games where you can say it and fully mean it. This is 0 rush. All right, let's just go down pop. Give them some Deagles. We like sharing. We're a very sharing team. And right now they're just giving away the Deagles. Nifty. That looks on him, but through the box, not going to work out. Deagle comes in. And Tux is just going to be in a bit of a standoff, and I don't think he's going to win it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real reason for Renegades to be too aggressive with that, but they're just going to clean him out. So 15-4. Renegades maybe is going to be a little bit confused as to why there was, 4 rounds with no rifles. But yeah, I mean, that's just a situation where Chiefs is like, all right, after that second round bye, we can't have the AWP if we want it. We can't have all the utility. They didn't get an AWP.
Anyway.
They have 5 AKs.
Now that is weird.
And they all have about $1,000 to $2,000 left over.
All right. Well, I mean, they're the ones 15-0ing Renegades right now, and they are going quick on this one, actually. Tux is straight out. Underhand flash goes in. Next has already found Pex, though, and straight to the brick wall of the Renegades. 3 players get the kills back-to-back, and they are not letting this one go. Only Malta so far finding a frag, and everyone else falling like flies. as he's trying to find any room to operate, and he's been shut out. So, Chiefs, I'm not sure what the game plan was there. Just kind of throw yourselves at them and hope it sticks, and it doesn't work out.
Well, they've got 2 solid buys because of the economic strategy that they employed.
Yep.
So 5 AKs again, they can be that fast paced if they choose to. Obviously, it didn't work out very well that previous round. I mean, that can't be a game plan. Is just kind of rush outside like that and hope that Renegades is going to miss the shots. Although to be fair, it did kind of work in the first half. Either way, this time Chiefs, all 5 members going towards the inner bomb site where it's just going to be JKS. There's Malta coming down. Ozza's going to find him, so good opening kill. Meanwhile, the inside pressure has slowed. Ozza can have a quick flank if he wants it. JKS, he spots the shoulder, and he's just going to fall back. Drops a smoke. Knows they're not going to come through that. Nade is out. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage. But that has caused a rotation. Nexa is now going to be towards the center side as well.
It does seem we're finally seeing that better level from Renegades. It seems a little bit calmer, a little bit more concise, but Peck still finds a frag towards Justillo. Maybe not expecting a player still to be hanging around at this point. Maybe just a little called out by this. And I wonder if they're going to fall away from B, if they're actually going to just stick to it and hit it. I can imagine they will do at this point. No real reason to fall back from it. We can still see the utility coming in. JKS there, dropping it down. But we are seeing a player falling back towards Pop. And this does look like a bit of a fake here. Now, Az is still in a good spot for this, though. Oh, Alistair just drops down and completely ruins him. And now we're down to this 4v3. Nifty, JKS, and Next are having to hold this one together. Nifty is still integral to this round, though. And he's still at the back by the old bomb train, back of Ivy.
He got the bomb down with that 1 kill as well, down towards E-Block. So that's bought plenty of time for the rotation to come in. He's got to do more, though. Alistair, he's got a lot of different angles. There's a good find. JKS swings out a little bit overzealous. Is traded by Nexa. Nifty, he's peering over. Now he's in a 1-on-2, and this is for the game.
Nifty, dig deep, my friend. You've got to come up with some incredible play, and he can't do it. And the incredible thing is the scoreline. Chiefs 16-5 destroy the Renegades. And I don't know what this means for Australian CS, but that means a lot to the boys on your screen right about now. They had an outstanding matchup. That CT side was phenomenal. Apex, what? He's still left.